Hello folks, this is Kansas Scout again. I'm looking at this area right here in my backyard to set up. It's my dad's old pup tent, and have myself a little winter X on my 3 days, well, my formerly 3 days off, just 2 days, but I'm going to do what I can right here. The ground's a little bit of a slope. It's right behind our house, next to our shed, and that ground up there is a lot more of a slope than this ground down here. And it's got a tree there. I'm not sure what type of tree it is, but this tree back here is a pin oak that goes, about 3 stories high in the sky. And back we got neighbor's little dog that likes to bark at everybody. Other neighbors have got a little fire pit. They use log stumps for their seats around. And I'm looking at this area right here, near that little rock that I can use as a stool to put my tent up. But then again, this all slopes downhill. But it's I'm holding the camera straight up and down, trying to give you guys an idea how slope it is. But that part right there along the back of the hill, it's sloped even more. And up there just at the top of that slope, to the down and to the right of the lower deck there, it's not exactly any flatter than where I'm sitting right now. So I'm thinking of putting the tent right here, and I think for now I will stop recording and just pick up where I left off. I'm going to pause it for now. Well, since I'm not going to ruck it all the way all around, and I'm just doing this in the backyard, I brought out that rig. I'm sure some of you guys who served for a while know what's on here. Just a moment. Okay, now that I got that all straightened out, I've got ammo pouch, canteen, K-bar knife, pistol mag pouch, butt pack, canteen, holster for 1911, another ammo pouch, a non-regulation sleeping bag, but at least it's green, and a sleeping bag carrier, and my dad's old GI pup tent. And I'm going to set it up. First I'll unroll it, and then I'll set it up. Oops. It's supposed to be paused. Oh. Oh, let's start this over again. This is except for the tent stakes, this is a regulation GI pup tent my dad had when he was in. He was in from the late 60s through the early 80s, serving Army Guard, well, Army Reserve and Army Guard. And he was wound up a major. Last on the officer reserve pool. But his last regular unit he was actually assigned to was the 130th Field Artillery Brigade, as the Brigade S1, which is the personnel officer. And when I get through setting this up, I am going to unroll that, which is my tarp and sleeping mat. Normally it rides at the top of my butt pack. I mean, not my butt pack, but my Alice pack, with a different sleeping bag at the bottom. But today I decided to grab this because it was easier to get to. So I'm going to set the tent up roughly in here. Get rid of some of those sticks and stuff. That might help make a small fire a little bit later. All right, I'm going to pause and get back with you. Okay, the GP Tiny setup. Probably not as good as it could be. It's been a while since I actually put one of these up, even by myself. I mean, after all, this guy should be a little more straight up and down. And I'm going to cover the inside here with my tarp that's wrapped around my sleeping pad there. But right now, I think I'm going to sit down and talk with you a little. Let's see. Okay, where's the turnaround? I want to turn this around. We'll just keep running. Okay, I'm going to be off camera for a little while. I'm just taking a little break here after working on that. I could see some places where I could tighten it up just a little bit more. But not bad for not having done that for years and years. I got to move that guy rope over and tent flap over. But otherwise, I think I've got it up as good as it's going to get today. Yeah, man. I served in the Guard, I think, as I said in one of my entry videos, or in my Patreon about me thing, bio thing. But yeah, back in the day when I was a E1 through E4, I used to have half of one of these, and I'd be mated up with, hopefully with somebody who had the other half. And in the Charlie Battery, 1st at 161st, I had a shelter half that had buttons. No, I had snaps, and everybody else in my gun section had buttons. So I usually wound up putting my, laying my shelter half down as a tarp, snapping my poncho to it, and putting my sleeping bag under that on top of my air mattress. Yes, back in those days, we still had the inflatable air mattress. We're talking between 80 and, about 82, 83, somewhere in there. Then they reflagged us to to Charlie Battery 2nd 130th Field Artillery. We turned in some of our gear, got Alice packs, K-pots after a while, and turned in the H harnesses and the butt packs, got Y harnesses and no butt packs, the Alice pack without a frame. No, we got the Alice pack with frame. And that was what we used to go into the field with. And I would roll up my shelter half and my tent poles sections and my stakes, and use the tie down, the straps for tightening the lid down to hold it to the top of the Alice pack. And I found myself a couple of tie down straps I ran through the canvas lashing points the nylon lashing points at the bottom of the Alice pack and through its frame, and that's where I would carry my sleeping bag. And then I'd have my E-tool on the left-hand side, and occasionally some more ammo pouches or something on the right-hand side. But right now, I've just got this set up with a sleeping bag carrier that I got through Moore. Right there's a sleeping bag carrier wrapped around the sleeping bag. Got it from a company called Moore Militaria that sells a lot of Vietnam surplus. And you can get the 61 and the 50, mostly 61 butt packs now. And I think the nylon 67 butt packs from them. The ammo pouches I've had since I was in the Army Guard. They were a set I got at Fort Sill from Clothing Sales when I built myself a personal set of LBE down there. The belts came from Einstein's, which is a local supplier. I still got the belt that I bought back when I bought the ammo pouches, but I got it on another rig, along with the the Y harness from that rig. Carry in that first aid compass pouch, I've got I think it's either a old Carlisle or a more newer pressure bandage, but it's not a Israeli battle dressing, because an Israeli battle dressing won't fit in those things. I carry one of those in the outside right pocket of my TRU trousers. And then that's the left pocket, excuse me. In the right pocket, I carry a cat tourniquet. And then in my right cargo pocket, I carry a SWAT tourniquet in the little inner pocket that's inside there. Oh, I'm almost rested enough. Won't take long to put the one deal out there. I got that tarp is, I think, a 6x8 that I got at Menards here in Topeka about, well, let's see, I last worked there in 16, so about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And then I've got another one that's a 10x8. Would make a good rain fly over the top of such a thing, or even a lean-to deal. And that's actually inside my Alice pack right now, which is inside the house. But I'm going to go ahead and set up the tent. I don't have a selfie stick or anything. I can set this and you can just watch me. And I have not figured out how to get this silly camera to turn around so I can actually be on camera with y'all. But that's okay. I hate filming it this aspect because I actually prefer filming everything in landscape aspect. But if I hold my phone that way and then I go to putting the thing onto YouTube so I can move it over to Patreon, the crazy video winds up being landscape, but being landscaped as far as the video goes, but in what shows up on Patreon and on YouTube, it's in the portrait aspect. So this one I wanted it to show up for the way it's supposed to. Unfortunately, I don't have as much side to side as I do up and down ratio on this, so you don't get as good a picture of my area. So that's why I'm kind of panning every so often real carefully. Nice thing about this backyard, I got a lot of deadfall sticks that I can use for making a campfire a little bit later. And if they snap, they're dry enough to use. Was going to use that little claw hammer there to put the stakes in, but the ground's so soft, I don't think I have to. I've pushed them all in with my own feet, although I need to go through and angle some of them. But I can clean that up here in a little bit, and I'll probably pause the camera again while I do that. No sense in you seeing me working and working and working, since I don't have any tripod or anything to set this on so that you can watch me go about doing this. So far it's been 9 minutes and 54 seconds of video, almost 10 minutes of video. So I'm going to pause again here at 10 minutes. Okay, I have the sleeping mat rolled out. Now you can see why I keep it wrapped in a green and brown tarp. Stupid thing is as blue as it can be. One of these days I'll get a surplus army mat to take its place. But right now, as Pastor Joe says, do what you can with what you have where you're at. Just a moment. I'm going to unlash that, open it up, and roll it out in there. It's going to get dark shortly after 6 tonight, so I'm basically doing the sleeping bag and stuff now while I still have a lot of light. That's the old Vietnam era spaghetti strap sleeping bag carrier. I have the Alice LC 1, 2, whatever sleeping bag carrier, holding a lighter green sleeping bag, mummy style, in a compression sack on the bottom of my Alice pack. Same brand as this one. When you don't make a whole lot of money, you wind up buying a lot of Walmart. Just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, got the sleeping bag unrolled. Had it rolled up so that the yellow part was inside. The thing about commercial sleeping bags, they ain't always tactical. But it is what it is. Now I'm gonna see if I can get this to turn around. Okay, I got it to turn around. This is going to be probably a separate video from the other one, unless I can get them. I'll get my freaking hand off the camera lens. Oh man. You know, when I was 20 something, this was all like cool and and everything. But now I'm doing it because crap may hit the fan at some point, and I need to see if I can still do it without, you know, and survive. This is my first Winter X. I'm doing it in my backyard, and yeah, I'm laying flat and looking at my camera while it's in the portrait position, so you guys are looking at me sideways. Sorry about that, but it's more comfortable to lay sideways, even though I'm laying on my sidearm. And I found that lump just a little uncomfortable, so I'm going to roll back over. Okay. Another problem about doing this out here this time of year, and you wear glasses, which I don't really need them to see so much as I need them to read, is that the silly things fog over. Well, this will probably be my little bedroom tonight. If I get too cold, I've got some more blankets inside I can bring out. I just got to try to figure a way to make a bedroll that is light enough I can carry it and still provide me enough warmth for this time of year. Man. I tend to dress in layers, so I had to take a sweatshirt I had off. Had on off. And I'm wearing a couple of t-shirts and a long-sleeved waffle weave top that doubles as a long underwear, but it's really not long underwear. It's just a cotton waffle weave top. And it's white, so I'm in my backyard, so not really worried about that. If I was in a neighbor's, this one friend's area doing this, I would be wearing something a little more tactical, or a little less obvious. Although, were it a little bit later in the year, the white wouldn't be that big of a difference. And if it was just a few days ago, the white wouldn't make that much difference. Yesterday we had, about a trace of snow. Probably a half to an inch to a half, somewhere in there. And further south of us, they probably still have about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, depending on where they are south of us. We were on the north edge of the storm that came through last night. I think if it was big enough, Pastor Joe may have been on the south edge, because I remember seeing a video he posted yesterday where it was snowing, and he was making some comments about it being snowing in Arkansas up in the Ozarks. Well, it does do that. It's the center of the U.S. I mean, we get all kinds of weather out here all time of the year. Sometimes the weather can try to bake you and freeze you all in the same day, sometimes in the same hour. So out here between late October and mid to late April, sometimes even early May, it pays to have some warm weather stuff and some cold weather stuff, because you just never know what it's going to be 1 hour to the next. Sometimes out here in Kansas and Missouri and Arkansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, eastern Colorado, anywhere out here on the Great Plains, really. Although I think right now, although I'm not dressed too heavy, somebody doing the same thing at the same temperatures down in Texas is probably dressed for the full-on Arctic right now. And somebody in the same temperatures up in North Dakota is dressing like it's summertime. Either that or he's trying out for Naked and Afraid. Talk to y'all later. Bye.